Hello everybody. Today I'm going to review Blimps by Roxie Munro. Well, as you see this here, I used to check this book out a lot ever since I was a little kid. It was one of the most frequently checked out books as well as these others here, such as, except I checked out What If Airplanes. But all the What If books I wanted to read are condensed into one book, which is relatively sweet. We have this one which is Flight and Flying Machines. Why I'm reviewing these books is because I had long promised to review these books. So I decided that I was going to fulfill your guys' requests. Yes, all of your requests as best I could. Okay, Blimps by Roxie Munro. Okay. Oh, there's some nice... Now this blimp here, I don't think is sponsored. Correction, I don't think it's sponsoring anything. As you can see, like other blimps, especially these on the rear cover. I just learned something. A blimp is like a polyester bag. As you can see here, this is a blimp in its pre-stage before it is inflated. Ooh, they're laying it out. I see this is how they make blimps. Well, I can tell you how the blimp got its name. It all began, in this, I think in this chapter here where a man inflict the fabric once it was inflated, and it made a funny sound like blimp. That's how. Oh yes, it was a funny sound, as you can see here. Feel free to pause it as necessary. Ooh, here's a blimp being inflated. Alright, here's the blimp used in the book that's anchored. Okay, now they're getting into the blimp, as you can see here. Now these things here, they're not decorations. These things are here for a reason. There's 4 blimps. There are these things called bow lines. And for some things, you have to control the bow lines in order to control the blimp to get it from one spot to the other. And then from there, the person who's controlling the blimp shall then give you the okay to let go of the bow lines once they're in the desired spot. Oh, anatomy of a blimp. Here's the interior of a blimp. or at least in the control car, I call it. Now, this book got lots of awards because of as shown right here. Oh yes, flying in a blimp is like flying in your dreams. Look, there's everybody there. They're going, hey! Now, some of these blimps here are made up, such as this Airship Industries here, along with this other one that says read books here. I know this book quite well. Here we have Goodyear and Fujifilm. Fuji, right here, my finger's covering it. Fujifilm. Looks like there's some sporting event going on here. Ooh, it's baseball. Here's a passenger view. As you can see here, this is what gets the blimp going. Now, you may have seen this in the movie A View to a Kill with Roger Moore, where the Zorin brothers have a blimp. Where they have a couple of them. Correction, a couple of blimps. And there's this one scene, where Roger Moore as James Bond 007 was hanging on the bow lines, and then he ties the blimp to a post on the Golden Gate Bridge, and then from there, the people in the cockpit for the control car in the blimp manage to increase power, and these things go up here. Then from there, one of the Zorins light a bomb and try to throw it at James Bond, but then he cuts the bow lines off while these things were going. Then from there, the Zorins fight over the bomb, and then kaboom! Just wait till you watch the movie A View to a Kill with Roger Moore. You'll see some blimp activity in that movie. The blimp is back, as you can see here. It's not even registered, meaning there's no tail number right here. Now with the Zorin's blimp, on the other hand, from A View to a Kill, I don't know if it was a US registered blimp or a British registered blimp. I mean, going back to the beginning of the page, I could tell you about all this as best I could. Alright, here's ground personnel letting the blimp crew know where to land. As in KNOW, where to land. And voila. Here's the blimp. Right at its rightful spot. At least I think. And the end of that. Dun dun dun. Let's see. As you can see here with this blimp, here with the blimps, see, look, it's like, you're making the blimps right here. And they're making the blimps even more. Now with the Zorin brothers from the movie A View to a Kill, they did something a whole lot different. Oftentimes, they hid the blimp in a shed. And there's this scene where James Bond takes this one girl to a gold mine. Or at least I think that is. Then from there, the Zorins are like hiding in the shack. And little did James Bond know that their blimp was going to evolve from it. It's not like this here, but the way it worked was when the Zorins were trying to escape, they got into this thing here, which is usually slung beneath the blimps, as you can see here. They got in there, they flicked switches, then from there the blimp inflated and evolved. Then from there it took off. Then from there the Zorans demanded more power to be put in order for these things in the back here to make the blimp go faster. Then from there, that one girl who was with James Bond was looking for her. And sure enough, the Zorans went down and they snatched her and brought her into that thing. But they don't go far. At least I don't think so anyway. James Bond, or Roger Moore as James Bond, manages to jump onto these bow lines here to make the blimp heavier. And then eventually tie the blimp, like I said, to a post of the Golden Gate Bridge. And then these things here were given more power to make the blimp go forward. But then, and when James Bond cut the bow lines with an axe, one of the Zorans, like I may have told you, had some sticks of dynamite and tried to throw it at James Bond. But they don't succeed. So then, and as I was telling you about, from here, all the Zorans were fighting over the bomb, and then this thing here went kaboom! Maybe this was shown. I don't know. Well, let's see here. This book here, mine now. Mine forever. I don't have to go back to the library to give it back or check it out again. Usually I've been very lucky with this book. You know, whenever I wanted to go to the library to check it out. Well, I don't have to worry about that anymore because I now have full ownership of a copy of this book here. And now, I could read it wherever, whenever I please to. If there's anything I could do better, let me know in the comment box, and I'll see if I could fulfill your request as best I could. I'll do my absolute best. I mean, it's my book forever, so I will see what I can do about it. Well, see you all around.